bienvenue, welcome back. It's time for more Asexual-Reviewed romance, and we're talking about the final book in the Fallen Angel series, Angel. I've already talked about the first two, so I might as well talk about the final one. And it's got dicks. Lots of dicks. And moaning, and sweating, and it's just smuts. I mean, why do I do this to myself? Actually, Angel is probably my favorite book in the entire series because this is less about coming to terms and more about managing their life, both public and personal, even if it's completely unrealistic. Still, Fallen Angel is a steaming pile of smut in a series, and I still don't understand most of it because it could have been condensed a lot. But let's face it, most people are not reading it for the plot, they are reading it for the smut, which is the complete opposite of why I'm reading it. I'm here for the story, and the smut is just kind of annoying. So condensing the three books into one wouldn't have worked for most people, but would have actually made a half-decent book. But let's take a closer look. Most people would describe the relationship between Halo and Viper as electric, intense passion. But it definitely has its tender moments, even if it's a little sappy and kinda cringe. I guess when it comes down to it, I just don't share the same obsession as everyone else because of the ace of it all. Still, the story is cute, more character-driven than plot, but we still get a lot of growth within the relationships of the band, not just Halo and Viper. People are moving forward and evolving and reconciling the past. The band is starting to face new challenges like tours, fans, the label, finding a new manager, and even just maintaining their own friendships. In the last book, we left Halo and Viper on a cliffhanger of a grand declaration of love, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think I've ranted before about my feelings on these dramatic public displays and how I absolutely hate them. For me, relationships are for the people in them. So when somebody makes a grand and dramatic gesture, especially if it's a public apology, it's very one-sided and it irks me to no end. But this novel picks up exactly where the last one left off, and that's with the sudden incoming shitstorm of their relationship suddenly going public just as their album drops and they're about to go on tour. Admirably, they keep their relationship together. The focus of the story doesn't become about drama or angst. In fact, the world seems to be overwhelmingly positive. Public interest and opinion never becomes a point of contention. I love seeing a hopeful rep like this. I mean, it's projecting the world that we all want to see. But I think the best part of the entire story is the fact that we get the whole awkward meet the parents moment, and the fact that Viper is completely out of his element and being a little try-hard because he's trying to impress his new in-laws. But we also get to see Angel's relationship with his parents, and a very, very touching moment when he finally comes out to them. Which was a shock to them, to say the least, because he had never given any indication in the past that he had any interest in men whatsoever. But I really wish that we would get to see more of these heartwarming coming-out stories, which unfortunately is not something in the past we have seen a lot of, but I have noticed that there has been a huge influx recently in this type of story, so we're finally seeing very positive representation of kids coming out to their parents. We also get to see Halo struggling a lot with suddenly being thrust into the spotlight. I mean, he basically became a rock star overnight. And while the rest of the band is used to the work and the traveling and the fans and the attention, Halo is kind of like a baby deer trying to get his legs under him, juggling his professional and personal life and the blurred lines. But at the same time, we also get to see him finding his footing as he's starting to gain confidence and finally emerge from his shell. Yeah, Angel has its dumb and ridiculous romance cliches, like missing someone's set. Sweat. The story also focuses on their first steps into a serious relationship. Like, suddenly being in a relationship with a guy should probably freak Halo out, but it doesn't. And Viper, who has never had a serious relationship, at least not since his ex that kind of fucked him, is actually kind of vibing. I love the lack of unnecessary drama. This book has more balance between the actual romance and the music side of the industry. Still, it's a lot of sex. It's nothing but sex. Talking about sex, having sex, joking about sex. And I don't know if it's just me, but that's part of the story that I found least interesting and the most annoying. I mean, people's dicks are constantly hard, and people are always so fucking hot. I think it's just the point of view in the entire series that sort of bothered me the most, because we have a very limited point of view with Viper and Halo. We don't really get to see the world. Everything is told to us. Because I want to see more of the world. I want to see what is going on around us, because let's face it, this is an aspect of life that probably none of us are ever going to experience. So I want to see the characters in their environments and not be limited to just their thoughts, which honestly is basically just about how good someone's dick looks packed into a pair of jeans. So I'll leave it up to you. If you want what's probably considered toe-curling smut, this has definitely got it. And if you want super cheesy romance, yeah, well, this is definitely it. But if you're looking for plot, well, it's got some of it. But it's more centered around whether or not the characters want to permanently bang each other. So that's it for this time on Asexual-Reviewed Romance. Let me know what you want me to take a look at next. I'm up for just about anything.